Sound speeds. And for those times out there when you need to get your dialogue, but you can't necessarily get a boom in there and you don't necessarily want to play the lavs, your best option then is a plant mic. But every plant mic you put out there into the shot has to pass a two-part test. Is it good for sound? Is it good for picture? If it's not good for sound, then it doesn't do us any good. If it's not good for picture, then you're going to have a camera operator work with you on adjusting it until it is. So let's just say you have limited space and you're trying to get a microphone someplace. Well, here comes your handy dandy DPA SC4098 to the rescue. Well, this is still going to be kind of obvious sticking up in my face like this, but maybe that's when you need to look at a set piece and see if you can get away with maybe hiding something behind something on the set. Well, if I'm going to try to hide this bad boy behind this bad boy, then what you can do is work with the camera operators to make sure that your microphone is invisible. Well, obviously it's pointing straight up in the air, not really doing a whole lot of good, but if we add a little bit of a curve to it, then we can maybe hide it back here. But I would need to work with my camera operator to make sure that it is not visible. Now, if a little bitty bit of it might be sticking out, the operator may say, oh, that doesn't work at all. I see the microphone. Here's a question you might want to keep in the back of your mind. Does the plant read? And they may say, well, I can see it. Do they know what it is? A little bitty tiny microphone like this, barely sticking out. I mean, seriously, honestly tell me if you think that a few pixels of a 1080p frame revealing a little tiny couple of black dots, is that really going to read in a big wide shot? Is anyone going to know what that is? Do you think anyone watching this show on television, even if they're watching it on a 4K television, is going to say, oh, I see the microphone, it's right there. That's got to be what that little black thing is. No, that's not the way it works. People are not going to notice it unless it's sticking out like this, right in their face. That's when they're going to notice the microphone. That's when they're going to say, that obviously doesn't work, unless they're, of course, standing on a podium or something, and they need it to be that way. However, one question that you need to make sure that you have in your arsenal is the question, does the plant read? If you put it that way to an operator and you say, yeah, well, do you really know what it is? Does it look like a microphone? Can it look like anything else? Is it something we can get away with? They'll probably eventually say, okay, I guess not. I guess it could be anything. I mean, think about it. If it was something there for picture, they're going to look at something very obvious to you and say, oh, that's fine. How many times do you put a microphone out there and they say, oh, I see a boom shadow in the background, but then their own camera crosses the light and they don't notice their own camera shadow? Or when they do, they say, oh, it's not an issue. Okay, well then why is a couple of pixels of my plant microphone going to suddenly magically be an issue? I should almost at this point say end rant. However, I will say this. Keeping that question in the back of your mind is something very, very important, because operators that if you start working with them on a show and they do work with you, sometimes by saying that word read, that keeps it in the back of their mind as maybe it's something that I can let them get away with because no one's going to notice it. Because you as a boom operator, or you as a utility, or maybe even you as a sound mixer, you want to make sure that you are working with picture for a common goal of sound and picture working together for the production. However, you want to make sure that they know that you have their back too, and that you're not just watching out for your own best interests. And by doing that, and by asking them certain questions like, does the plant read? And I know I keep saying it over and over again, but I want it instilled in your mind so that way you know to talk to operators about it. By asking that question, operators will more than likely eventually maybe cave to you and allow you to keep it barely slightly in the frame because it doesn't necessarily read as a plant microphone. That is some great sound advice.
Have a question you'd like answered or want to add something? Be sure to write it in the comment section down below. You can also make a suggestion for future topics of discussion. Again, comment section down below, or you can email me at soundspeeds@yahoo.com. Be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss out on future sound advice.